Hey there, how's it going? Eric here. Today we're talking about this really interesting, really inexpensive espresso machine. This is the Delonghi ECP3630 from the Delonghi ECP series. Before I get started, I really want to ask you guys, give me a like, give me a comment, give me a subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to make more coffee content, I'm trying to make more fun videos and delve into topics that I think are interesting, and more importantly, I'm trying to help people get started in coffee. So if you could help me grow that community of new coffee lovers, and I really am enjoying putting myself out here and sharing my take on coffee. Thank you so much. I'm assuming that if you're checking out this video, you might be interested in a coffee hobby, you might be interested in an espresso hobby, and this is actually a great machine to invest in for $150. Retail, usually you can snag it for closer to $125. It leaves you a lot of extra budget for something like a decent espresso grinder, which you can hang on to if you ever decide to upgrade your machine. So, Delonghi ECP3630. This is a single boiler espresso machine. What does that mean? It means that it has a boiler, a tank, in this case stainless steel, that is full of hot water and steam, and that's going to create the water that is going to extract your espresso. It's also going to steam your milk, and that is something as a single boiler can only do one or the other. It cannot do both at the same time. You've heard of a dual boiler. A dual boiler just means there is a dedicated boiler for the espresso water, and then there's a dedicated boiler for the steam. This is a single boiler. You can do one or the other, not at the same time, and that's okay, because unless you are a seasoned barista or you're really used to that workflow of pulling shots and steaming milk at the same time in a cafe, you really don't need both. Of course, accuracy, temperature accuracy, those kind of things, that's a different story. Getting started, learning how to make espresso, getting started with espresso at home, single boiler should be good enough. Some of the cool things that this machine has is, like I said, it's a single boiler, so you do get a lot more steam power compared to a Breville, which is a thermocoil instant heating system. You have a heated group head, which, very hot, is awesome, because if you do have your portafilter in here, your group handle in here, while you are getting ready in the morning, it's going to get the head up to temperature, it's going to get the portafilter basket up to temperature. You're going to have everything nice and hot, and temperature is super important for espresso. A consistent hot temperature all the way through really does affect the flavor of your espresso. So having a heated group head is really cool, especially in a machine that costs $150 or less. The machine itself is 15 bars. I don't know 100% for certain if it is set to 15 bars or not, but the pump is 15 bars. A little bit higher than ideal, but it still does pull decent shots, especially for the price. It takes about 5 minutes to heat up. What does this machine come with? It does not come with this portafilter. It comes with this portafilter basket and this portafilter holder or handle. These are pressurized, and you get a little cheesy tamper. You got a single and a double on the pressurized basket, also one for ESE pods. ESE pods are little tea bags of espresso that aren't so popular in the US, they're popular in other countries, and they will allow you to make a quick espresso at home without any effort. Pressurized means that it compensates for the lack of a fine grind and creates pressure. Is it true espresso? No. These are just like a little cheat to help you make something like espresso at home. But if you want an espresso hobby and you want to learn to make espresso at home, I really recommend investing in an espresso grinder. That's the most important accessory you can get. So clearly, if you are serious about espresso, you're not going to use either of these things. You can buy a portafilter online like this. This is a non-pressurized portafilter, has lots of little holes in it, and that is designed to hold up to true espresso grind, an extra fine, powdery, finely ground espresso. This one is kind of a cheapo. I grabbed it for like 20 bucks. Not the best machined basket in the world, though the grinder is probably the #1 accessory you can ever get when it comes to making espresso. Another accessory that is really worth investing to is a well-machined basket, something that is precision. A precision portafilter basket will give you better extraction, give you a better tasting shot, and give you less of a mess. Now, this is a bottomless one, doesn't have to be bottomless. Honestly, that just gives you a visual feedback. It doesn't improve the quality of your espresso. What's important is that it has lots of tiny holes and is meant for use with freshly ground espresso. And then you would probably want a better tamper than this guy here. I got this one as well for about 20 bucks. It is just a palm tamper. It has a little groomer here. Overall, $40 investment with a $125 espresso machine. You can pull some decent shots. Now, what is this thing I have here? A panarello steam wand. Panarello steam wands are designed for adding air to the milk automatically. It's not designed for someone who wants to make latte art. It's not designed for someone who wants to learn the art of steaming milk. It's just a quick and easy way to get a very foamy milk. This particular one has a hot milk setting and then a cappuccino setting that flips on and off here. Basically all that does is you're gonna add more air or less air. You can steam decent milk with it on hot milk mode, though it's super challenging and honestly a pain in the butt. What you can do though, if you want to improve the performance of this machine, particularly for milk steaming, is just pop this off. And then you have this little rubber guy under here. It will act like a regular steam wand and it steams milk well. It's got really, really great power, great velocity. I actually find it a pleasure to steam on just like this. And if you put a little zip tie around here, it will prevent it from popping off when it's steaming. And that will be a great way to practice your latte art and to get into coffee without making a huge investment. There is one more hack that you can do to make this an even better espresso machine, but it would require voiding the warranty, taking it apart and putting a real steam wand on here. This is good enough. Speaking of warranties, you get a 1-year warranty on this machine out of the box. If you register it on Delonghi.com, you get a 2-year warranty. As long as you're using it like this, you're not doing anything to modify it. You have 2 years backed by Delonghi. Delonghi has really good customer service. They have a desk right in the USA. They're pretty responsive. So yeah, it's a pretty good peace of mind knowing that you get a 2-year warranty on it. So first off, what we're gonna do is we're going to pull a few shots in here, show you what it's like with the panarello steam wand on here, show you what it's like with the modified steam wand on here, and also just show you that this is a machine that is kind of interesting. Since this has a 51mm basket, which is thinner and deeper than your standard 58mm basket, you will use a slightly coarser grind. You will not be able to go as fine as you would with a 58mm basket, so keep that in mind. But it is a pretty forgiving experience. And just groom that out. And then tamp it down. Now, like I said, I did buy a pretty cheap portafilter here, nothing well machined. It does pull a tasty shot, but I do get quite a bit of a mess while I'm pulling those shots, to tell you the truth. So this is 18 grams of a kind of a medium roast by Methodical. It's on a 3+2 on the fellow Opus, and it does give you a decent extraction over about 20-25 seconds. You do want to give it a second to release the pressure after you're done pulling your shot, or you'll get something like that happen. So you have a decent shot here. That's very good. That's very good. So I have it set for the hot milk mode here. I have seen people who are capable at steaming with a panarello steam wand, and they can do latte art and they get a decent milk texture. I am not one of those people. But, so, you know, it's not so bad. It's a little flat and a little bubbly. That's about as good as you're going to get with this kind of steam wand. So it doesn't look horrible, but of course, it's not that, it's pretty, you know, it's okay. but it could be better. So there is a really easy fix for this. What we're going to do is we're just going to twist this very, very slightly, and it's going to pop right off. And underneath this silly little cylinder, you've got a rubber kind of steam wandy apparatus here. So this is actually a decent working steam wand, and you can steam milk to a microfoam texture, and it does a much better job than it does with this little panarello steam wand on there. And all we have to do to secure this is a zip tie around the base of the rubber here. But just putting a zip tie around the top of the rubber here, nice and secure, will help it from popping off due to that pressure of the steam being pushed through. And then you can just cut off that extra little bit with a pair of scissors. And it's as easy as that. So let's steam some milk. So compared to some other steam wands that are a little bit more specialized and a little higher end espresso machines, this is a pretty wet one. It has a lot of liquid. So make sure whenever you use it, you really flush it out, because there's going to be a lot of liquid in there to mess with your steaming. But anyway, let's see if we can get some decent texture out of this milk. A little bit of aeration going there. And decent whirlpool. And once I feel that temperature getting just about too hot to touch, that's a decent texture. Not perfect, but definitely a better texture than I had with the panarello steam wand. And I'm not the best latte artist in the world. I don't work behind the bar anymore, so I don't get as much practice as I used to, but I'm pretty sure I can do something here. The texture is right, and it's definitely better than with the panarello steam wand. So with just this little hack, you can have a decent, that's right, it's good. Okay, so what I hope I've done by showing you guys this machine in action is illustrated that with this machine you can pull some decent, well-extracted shots of espresso. That was my second time ever steaming milk on this machine with that modification, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Maybe I'll shoot that again, but the texture is good. The shots are good. I'm going to try one more modification on this machine. I'm going to actually replace the steam wand to a real steam wand from a Rancilio machine. Hopefully I don't break this guy. That will definitely void the warranty. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to show you guys how that works, how the steaming on that goes, and then I'm going to upload another video that will show you how to install that on your own. All right, so I did end up trying and replacing the steam wand here just to see what that would do and what that was like and if it was worth everyone's time. So here's what the steaming process looked like for me. Oh, bizarre. You can tell right now it's a little foamy, but all right. That's what we got. I found that though it is challenging to steam on this, especially since after the modification, it doesn't really allow you to move it around much. Without being able to move the steam wand around much, you are a little bit limited on how you're going to angle your pitcher, etc. But once I figured out the right angle and once I figured out the right place to hold the pitcher, I was able to get some decent microfoam. It's not the best steaming steam wand in the world. It was a lot of fun to replace it. I like cracking things open. I like seeing how they work. I don't think it's necessarily worth doing. I think that it's worth doing if you want a project and you're not saving up for a better espresso machine in the future. I think for a beginner, you'd be perfectly happy with the Panarello steam wand disassembled and just a zip tie to keep the rubber part on. The steam wand that I have on here came with 2 tips, a 3-hole tip and a single tip. The 3-hole tip did not perform well on this particular machine. Maybe I just need to play around with it more, but I just felt like it was giving me too much agitation. It was hard to get a whirlpool going. It was hard to get microfoam, like I said. So now that I've figured out the steam wand, it is nice to work with. It does a good job. I don't know if it does a better job, but it's fun to do this project. It was fun. So that's pretty much up to you. Cracking this thing open, replacing a steam wand, that would definitely void the warranty. You're also taking on some risk as far as, you know, you could hurt yourself, you could hurt the machine. So I don't advise it. I'm just saying that it's something that you could do. And I'm once again linking the video on how I did that. That's up to you. So all in all, this machine, really, really great machine for beginners to learn their espresso skills, to just for $150, usually less, you can pick this machine up, buy a couple accessories. You could even get a better portafilter than I did. That's actually well machined, and then you could pull even better shots. You could use some extra budget to get a better espresso grinder, and then you could really, really learn the skills of being a home barista, get your hands dirty, learn how you personally touching the espresso, making the espresso, timing things, really just being in control of the whole thing does affect the quality of the drink that you're making. I would say that this is more of a machine for somebody who is on a limited budget and really, really is intrigued by the art of espresso. It is not a great machine for someone who wants to make espresso at home easily. If you want something that's more repeatable of an experience, where you're going to get the same quality every time, where there's less X factors, and where it's a little bit more user-friendly, definitely consider going with a Breville Bambino or Breville Bambino Plus as your first espresso machine. But there's nothing that will touch this in this price range. 150 bucks, usually closer to 125 on sale. It's a really amazing machine. If you are interested in anything that I talked about in this video, be it the steam wand, be it the portafilter handle, be it the actual machine, be it the tamper, I have left some links in the video there. Check them out. They are affiliate links. I do make a little bit of money if you go through those at no cost to you. But yeah, check it out if you would like. So I hope that you got some value out of this video. If you did, give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a comment. Thank you so much. Super fun to make this video. Took so long, did so many things. Clearly it took different days because I'm wearing different shirts, but yeah, I hope that helped. And yeah, thank you very much. Cool.